Hey, good people, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be giving you all my review on Love Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 22. Guys, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. My goal is to get to 400 subscribers, and I'd appreciate it if you would join the family and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump right into this video because I have like 3 pages of notes that I want to go through. I want to start off by saying this. Keke does not need to be on this show anymore. And I'm not coming from the aspect of I don't like Keke or I'm team Tisha, I'm team Mel, I'm team Kimmy, none of that. I'm team she needs to get the help that she needs. And being on this show, the way that these stories are going, the way that everybody is speaking about her and about her addiction, I just don't think it's good for her to be on this show. I really don't. So I'd rather see her go and get the help that she needs. I'm not saying that she's still in the midst of her drug addiction or anything like that. I'm just saying, based upon what I'm seeing, I don't think that this is going to help her road to recovery whatsoever. So the episode opens up right where we left off. It's the aftermath of Keke throwing the drink in Tisha's face. All I want to say about the aftermath for the most part is Keke's husband definitely had Marsau running around that table. Okay, Marsau did not want to have anything to do with her husband, Amin, whatever his name is. He did not want to have anything to do with him. I think it has a lot less to do with what Marsau could lose if they both got into a little fight, and more so the fact that he knows he can't take that man whatsoever. Martell gonna say in his confessional, and I'm looking at my notes so y'all just bear with me. Ladies talk about too much. That's why they stay in so much drama. Us guys, we just chill and we're good. Okay, Martell, please be quiet. Nobody asked for your 2 cents. They show a flashback of him getting upset. You know, I think it was a couple of seasons ago, and he and Marsau got into a fight. So clearly that's not the case. Obviously there are differences between a male and a female. We already know that. I just don't like these men continuously trying to point them out and make it seem like women are problematic, because we're not. Mel, honestly, this episode was the voice of reason, along with Tisha's cousin Courtney a little bit later in the episode. Keke basically was told to leave, and Mel and her, as well as Stormy, are in the front of Kimmy's house talking about what happened. Mel is pretty much dealing with Keke almost as if Keke is a child and should know better, but just doesn't know better almost. I don't know how to explain this scene other than it looked like Melody was talking to one of her children. She basically is asking Keke, why did she throw the drink on Tisha? Did Tisha do something to her prior to that? Did Tisha put her hands on you? Did this happen? Did that happen? Of course, Keke's like, no. She rehashes the whole story of her finding out the information of Marsau's alleged cheating. And that was her whole defense, and she didn't like the fact that Tisha was ignoring her. As Mel said in her confessional, that is not enough for you to sit there and throw a whole drink on somebody. Like, it's just, the math is not mathing. Mel believes that there's something more to the story than what either Tisha or Keke are saying. I don't know if there's anything more to the story. I think that that's just naturally how Keke responded to Tisha. Like, Keke is no fool. She knows she's on reality TV, also knows that she has to bring it, because let's be clear, she doesn't really have a storyline outside of her drug addiction, which we know she's not really going to spend much time talking about, as well as these rumors that she's only heard about Marsau and Tisha. Outside of that, what is she really bringing to the table? So a part of me feels like she, in her mind, has to do stuff like this. I think she was really in the moment, but I think she also understands she's on a platform, and she's trying to stay on the platform by being as provocative, if you will, as she can. Stormy was over there just on mute. She didn't have anything to add, because I think Stormy was in a state of shock. When everything first happened, Stormy was the first person to run away from that table. Like, clearly she did not want to have anything to do with that. So this whole conversation about Keke and drug tests somehow comes up. And in her confessional, Keke says that she would definitely pass a drug test, but Marsau, on the other hand, would not be able to pass a lie detector test regarding if he's being faithful in his marriage. I'm going to say that I don't think either of these people would even be willing to do a drug test or a lie detector test. And do with that what you please. But that's my opinion on that. Keke goes on to say that she also tried to tell Tisha what was happening regarding the rumors, of course, and that Tisha is the one who looks stupid. No, 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 Keke. You, unfortunately, I don't even like the word stupid, but you look less than smart the way you handled the situation. In no way, shape, or form do I feel like Keke throwing that drink on Tisha was justified. Not at all. I feel like Keke is going to have to learn how to deal with her anger or her emotions. I'm just as dumbfounded by the whole thing as Melody and probably the rest of the people that were there. Back at the barbecue, Tisha's inside with Kimmy and she's explaining to Kimmy everything that happened. Of course, Marsau is there as well. Instead of him being outside with the men, he's in there with Kimmy and Tisha rehashing what happened at the table. And this is why Stormy calls you what she calls you. Like, you're always in the women's business. Go outside with the rest of the men. I really feel like Marsau should have been more concerned about his wife and the embarrassment that she must have felt in that moment than sitting up there trying to rehash the whole thing with Kimmy. I just did not like that at all. So Tiffany makes her appearance, her and baby Ace, and she says in her confessional that Lou is where he always is, working. Girl, do you know how many people would be happy to have a spouse, a significant other out there working so it's not just one person bringing in an income? I don't understand why Lewis working and following his passion is having the effect that it's having on Tiffany. She sounds real bitter. I've already shared my thoughts on the whole Big Lou and Tiff situation, so I don't want to go any further. But I feel like at every turn, and I felt like this for a while now regarding her, at every turn she's bad mouthing her husband. What is up with that? If you're not happy, then move on. Didn't Fantasia tell you that? Kimmy gets her Jeep. Her son pulls up. He's in the Jeep, and she's super excited. Like, I have never seen Kimmy this excited on the show ever. Like, you would have thought she just won the Powerball for like $1.6 billion. She was that happy. So kudos to her for getting her Jeep. Tisha and Keke's cousin Courtney comes by, and of course, Tisha is telling her the whole thing that happened between her and Keke. So her cousin is like, yeah, I heard the rumors too. My question is, she never specifies where she heard these rumors. This is Courtney I'm talking about. I wonder if she heard it from Keke or if she herself has heard the rumors somewhere else. Judging by this scene and how Courtney was with Marsau, I get the feeling that she really is not a fan of Marsau at all. My personal opinion is that Mr. Scott has cheated on Tisha before. Her family knows about it, and they don't really ride for him like that. So here we have Tiffany in Tisha's ear talking about the worst kind of person is someone who has nothing to lose. Tiffany, please shut up. Please go somewhere. Is baby Ace hungry? Go, girl. Nobody asked you for your 2 cents. She's always coming for Keke on the low. Do y'all notice that? So Tisha is continuing to tell the story to her cousin Courtney. The one thing that she does corroborate as far as what Keke said to Melody is that Keke tried to call her and wanted to speak with her about the whole rumor situation face to face as opposed to over the phone. So we know that that's the truth. I'll give Keke a gold star for that one. Now, Marsau says they already knew what it was because the guy contacted them. So my question is, did the guy contact Tisha trying to tell her that her husband allegedly was cheating on her? Or did the guy contact her to tell her, listen, your cousin is trying to get information from me? And then my other question would be, why would Keke be trying to get information from this person? Unless this person has some information to give her. Like, something is not making sense. So Mel is asking Marsau, like, why was Armin, whatever his name is, why was he trying to come at you? And then Marsau says, well, he was trying to come at me because I called his wife a dopehead. I don't think making fun of somebody who has an addiction or is in recovery is funny at all. And he didn't say dopehead to Armin. He said that they should drug test her. That's what he said. He wasn't bold enough to say dopehead. He's not dumb. We saw how he was running around that table. Marsau goes on to say that he wanted to get under Amin's skin. And Stormy's like, oh, so you wanted to get under his skin the same way you wanted to get under Courtney's skin, talking about her husband. They rehashed the whole Stormy calling Marsau a bee And at the end of the day, Stormy agrees that she's not going to say it anymore, but she's not apologizing to Marsau. And I can respect that because I feel like Stormy stands 10 toes down on what she said to him and how she feels. Why say sorry when you're really not sorry? So at this point, Mel has left, and Kimmy asks Courtney if she feels like Tisha may still need some help. And this is where the conversation goes left, in my opinion. And this was one of the reasons why I feel like Keke, girl, just exit stage left as far as this show is concerned. First of all, Kimmy is a nurse. So Kimmy is basically alluding to the fact that perhaps Keke still has a problem. She goes on to say this is Kimmy, that when Keke hugged her, she felt tremors. And then I guess because she realizes what she's implying, she tries to say maybe it was just nerves. Girl, why? Why are you saying that, Kimmy? You're a nurse. So you know, I'm sure you have a better understanding of people that are addicts than the common person who might not have gone to school to get the training and education that you have in this field. Now, I'm not saying that Kimmy is an addiction counselor or anything like that. I'm just saying she's in the medical field. Therefore, she knows that when she makes a statement like this, what she's implying. And I just think that that's so wrong. I really appreciate that Courtney was there for this conversation because she 100% has Keke's back because she really is neutral regarding the whole Tisha and Keke situation. She's not team Tisha. She's not team Keke. She's straight in the middle. I feel like Kimmy is trying to get Courtney to share something about Keke to again paint this picture that Keke has a problem. We know Keke has a problem. Keke told us she has a problem and she's trying to get the help that she needs. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You're in the medical field. You know that. And another thing, what I do know, and I'm sure that Kimmy knows as well, there's something called detox. And you know that there are certain symptoms that come with somebody who's detoxing off of a substance. So could it be that those tremors were from her detoxing? Could that be it? I just don't like her trying to imply something. I don't think that's fair. And I think there, but the grace of God, go I or anybody else. Courtney says that there still might be some help that Keke needs. She's more so noticed Keke having sweats and stuff like that. So here goes Marsau again talking about, oh, so the makeup didn't give her away. Once again, why are we making light of this woman's addiction? And this kind of put me in the headspace of remembering the whole situation, even though it was like 10 years ago, which was one of the reasons why Keke and Tisha weren't cool, was Marsau and Tisha going and sharing with Mel and Martell the issues that Keke was having with substance abuse. I could see them sitting around and laughing about that. This is the picture that's being painted in my mind as he's sitting at this table doing this. And you see like Tisha's not really laughing or finds it funny herself. Courtney does check Marsau and she tells him not to make light of Keke's situation. She says you don't need to make fun of it. Courtney then goes on to say that if you acknowledge the person through the drink, do you call them out on it? Or do you acknowledge that they are just not in their right mind if they're on a substance? Marsau then takes a poll of everybody at the table, asking them if they've ever picked Keke up at 2:00 in the morning, or have they had 4 to 5 hours worth of a conversation with her. So he's alluding to the fact that he's done more for Keke than anybody else at the table. Therefore, he should be justified. This is how I'm taking it, in him making light of her situation, because he was there for her, as he points out, when her mother and her family and her husband even wasn't there for her. That may very all be true, Marsau. But this woman has an addiction. And one thing about people that have addictions, it's a disease. It's not something that you can flick a light switch on and it all go away. It's not something that you can have a conversation with the person for 4 to 5 hours and it clicks and connects to them. Many people that have addictions are in recovery lifelong, meaning that they're always trying to make sure that they're headed down the right path. But it's not something that just goes away. So your whole logic in response to what Courtney says, take her in private and have a conversation, makes no sense. So insensitive. Stormy in her confessional says that it's unfortunate that because Keke threw the drink, the first thing everybody is saying is that she must be on something. No, she could have just been upset and threw the drink. It could have just been a natural response. Totally agree, Stormy. Totally agree. Stormy at the table says, well, Keke's in recovery, right? Then, of course, because Marsau is who he is, he's challenging Stormy, asking her, have you ever dealt with anybody who had a drug problem? Stormy says yes. Her best friend who used to live with her and help her with her son had a drug problem, and she no longer lives with her. So Marsau, again, being the idiot that he is, not reading the room, is asking her, well, why doesn't she live with you? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? At this point, Stormy is emotional. She gets up from the table and she walks away. Now, I can appreciate the fact that when Marsau realized that he went too far, he went over there to Stormy and explained that he went too far and that he was sorry and he'll do better. But then this fool goes back to the table and again is having a back and forth with Courtney about Keke's sobriety. Why? In the next scene, Martell, Courtney, Fletcher are all at the gym. Martell is trying to help Courtney slim down a little bit. Courtney wants to really build muscle. I honestly feel like Martell should be a personal trainer. I think he would be perfect for that. I think it just would be the right career path and career move for him. This is now the second person on the cast that's asking him for help in that department. Maybe that's what you need to venture into, Martell. So they all talk about the barbecue. Courtney says he doesn't like Marsau's energy. Martell said that Stormy should not have called Marsau a B. Courtney says, well, Marsau agreed that he was a B. They gonna hold on to that boy. Courtney told the guys that he will have a conversation with Marsau. Martell is still living in the house that Fletcher is trying to sell. He tells Fletcher that he did find a house and he'll be moving in like 20 days. Courtney's like, are you moving in with Sheree? In his confessional, Fletcher says, I don't care if he moves in with Sheree. I don't care if he moves in with Mel. I just don't want him in that house anymore. I'm fine with wherever he goes. I said, I know that's right. So apparently, Fletcher and Courtney may be cousins. They're going to try to get a DNA test to figure out if they're related and how they're related. When they did the side-by-side of these two, they do really resemble each other. In the next scene, Keke and her husband are at their storage unit. They are moving into a different house. Mel comes over because she wants to check on Keke after everything that happened, make sure she's good. Mel also says that she did the same thing for Tisha. She texted her to make sure that she was good. So while they're there, Melody is telling them that Tisha said that she likes Amin. I think that's the first time that I said his name correctly. She likes him, and Amin is like, she don't like me. Keke's like, she don't like him. She's never liked him. So Mel was like, really? They were like, yeah, she don't like him. I don't know what that's about because they did embrace it. It did honestly seem like Tisha was happy to see him. So I don't know. Amin explains to Melody that he was not upset about Marsau sticking up for Tisha. He did not like the fact that Marsau was making light of Keke's addiction, which I totally agree. I never felt like Amin was coming for Marsau because of what happened between Tisha and Keke. I believe that he was coming for him based upon his comments. He said this is now the second time that he feels comfortable talking about his wife a certain type of way in his presence, and he's not having it anymore. I can't be mad at that. He goes on to say that he feels like Marsau has been trying to say these things about Keke for a long time, and he finally had the opportunity to let loose and say them. In my opinion, Mel drops a bomb on Keke when she says, listen, girl, I have a drug test. Why don't we just put all these rumors to rest? You take the drug test so it'll prove to these people that you're not on drugs. And then we get the to be continued. I really like Mel, but I feel like, girl, you wrong for this. Keke is a grown woman. Why is she taking a drug test? What does she have to prove to anybody? If she's not on the straight and narrow, then she's not on the straight and narrow. Nobody can make this woman do anything. So who is she trying to prove anything to? Just make it make sense. Like, why should she have to do that? And I feel like if Melody is really a friend, this is not the way to handle that. The way that she handled the situation, I'm talking about Mel, after the incident at the barbecue where she pulled Keke to the side and tried to reason with her and say, girl, you really was wrong for that. That's the way you help her. Giving her a drug test, that's overkill. Obviously, these are not things that people would, I hope not, in real life try to do to somebody who's clearly had a past with addiction and trying to overcome the situation. But because it's reality TV, this is what we're doing. And that's the reason also why I feel like Keke should be done with the show. There's no amount of money in the world that would make this okay. So I hope if Keke is on drugs, she gets the help that she needs. If she's getting sober, I wish her nothing but the best in her sobriety. But I don't think that this is the show for her. You guys let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Let's chop it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.